Now, if you're someone who struggles to create image content for your social media accounts, I'm going to give you a simple thing that you can do. It's not complicated, and it's a great way to repurpose your content. Now, one thing that kind of pisses me off a little bit about social media is when I see people putting quote content up. Everybody always puts quotes from famous people, or Stephen King said this, or Oprah said that, or Tony Robbins said this. And while that's all good and great, I often think to myself, well, you yourself as a person, do you not have a brain in your head? Do you not think that you could come up with your own quotes, your own piece of advice, things that you could teach your audience? Of course you could. So why use somebody else's content? Why use all those quotes? Why not just come up with your own quotes? So as you can see here, what I've done is I am over here in canva.com. And what I simply do for my social media content is I simply use my little character. This is the our little kind of logo for the Write.com site. And what I did was I simply had created this little template that I use over and over and over again. So what I do is I have a little character here. I did a search for a speech bubble in Canva, brought it over here, and then I have my little character again, and I have the domain name here. And what I simply do is I just go back through my past blog posts and I just look for little kind of segments, tips, tricks, anything at all that I can use as a quote. So say for example, maybe I was looking to pull a quote from this blog post, and this blog post is all about learning from failure. So what I'd simply do is, rather than using someone else's quote, have a look at the content I've already written. So let me have a look and see here. Is there anything I can use here? Just on a quick view in here, I could use this here as a quote for my little character. If I scroll down again here, you will find sometimes that when you're writing content, or maybe when you're doing TikToks, or you're doing a blog post or a podcast, sometimes you say something that sometimes seems really good and you actually surprise yourself by what you've said. So if you do find that sometimes you do come up with a kind of a slogan or a saying or some piece of wisdom, write it down, record it, and then keep it in a notepad or whatever, and then use it for the template. But in this case here, I'm just simply going through this just to show you what I would usually do. That one there, that would be another good one. Never underestimate the power of continually improving your craft and embracing feedback. So what I would simply do is I would copy this here. I would head back over to my little character, and then what I would do is I'd simply just duplicate the page again, and then I would come down to this here, use the same font. And what I'd simply do is I just strip out the text between the quotations. I leave the full stop and I just drop in my quote, bring it up here, and then get rid of the extra full stop at the bottom here. And then depending on how much text I have in the box, I can drag the text box. I can make it bigger or smaller to tidy it up, and then basically just center it in the speech bubble. And there we have my little character saying, never underestimate the power of continually improving your craft and embracing feedback. And what I simply do is I simply just go through all my content. I would again hit duplicate, and then I would have a look for another quote and put it in there. And what I do is I would simply just duplicate my template over and over and over again, and simply drop all the new quotes in. And then when you have enough, then if you want, you can either download them individually, or if you want to, you can simply create maybe a month's image content in one sitting, just from going back through your old content, grabbing quotes, tips, all those different things, and then just simply download them all into a folder, and then you'd have your 10 posts, 20 posts, 30 posts, however it would be. Let me just put that to a PNG, and that is how easy it is to get the content. And then you can drip feed that out in Buffer, to different platforms, or just post it to Twitter, post it to Facebook, post it to Instagram or whatever. And again, if you have a paid account at Canva, you can simply just resize these images in one go. So you have the perfect template for Pinterest, you've got the perfect one for Instagram, you've got Twitter, Facebook, all these different images, and you can simply repost it again. So as I said, if you are having difficulty keeping up with your content, I'm sure you can see this is really easy to get your wisdom in front of people, get your name in front of people, and, add a little bit of life to your quotes. So they're just not a dead kind of quote with, graphics. That's why I have my little cartoon character here, just to, add a little bit of fun to it. And that is how easy it is to do. So I highly recommend get over to Canva, create one of these templates. If you want, you can copy mine here, pause this video, have a look at how I've done it, and then simply just put in your little characters, or even just, you don't need a character, you can simply just have a speech bubble and be a picture of you in the corner. If you can do that, and then just have your domain name on it, because you never know where your image is going to go to, but at least people can find you when they do a search on the domain name at the bottom. So as I said, copy that if you want to, but this is a really, really easy way to create a huge amount of content just by simply repurposing the content you've already got there. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.